Hello guys, welcome everybody. Today we will be talking about the 5 tanks that you can buy with bonds. I get a lot of questions about which tank you should get, and people keep asking, should I buy this, should I buy this? So today we'll be talking about all these 5 tanks that you can buy with bonds. Are type of collector tanks, reward tanks. And let's have a look. We're gonna start with the FV215B. It's a British heavy tank. It's very similar to the S-Kong, but the difference, the S-Kong has better armor. Now, the tank comes with 400 alpha damage. It has 259 penetration, is standard ammo, and it has the APCR round, which is the main one will be used, is 326. However, the DPM on this tank, it's really probably the best thing you can have in it. I would say it again, the DPM is the most reason probably I play this tank. Aim time, it's the same thing. It comes in with 1.53 aim time, and the accuracy on it is really beautiful. Again, it's like a S-Kong gun. The only thing about this tank is bad is getting sit on fire a lot, so you will lately have to be careful about the whole armor of the tank to be, exposed to the enemy. It just, you gotta play it and kinda try to use your turret as much as possible, and not expose your whole armor. Side scraping in the tank is not the best too. Pretty much the tank, like, it doesn't have the best armor, let's say, but you, in return, you get DPM and nice gun accuracy. And when I say it doesn't have armor, I still mean like the turret will, bounce shots. I mean, even the space armor on the side, like if you while side scraping, things like that, heat round shell comes to the track. You just, it's kind of bounce shots if you get that lucky. What I would like to do is like put a hardening on it, put a turbo, put a rammer and directive rammer, and apply with food. The field modification will be similar to the S-Kong. I don't have it right now. I will go left, right, left. That's what I would do on this tank if I ever want to play it. Let's go have a look and see how this tank performs. But with the unique thing about this tank is, like, I really do like the gun accuracy and gun itself. DPM, it's really nice. Reload time, it's really nice to have like 6.8 seconds to brawl with. The tank mobility is not the greatest. It has around like 35 or 38. However, like pushing with this tank won't be like the best thing to do. It's just like you have to just take it slow, and into brawling you also have to get slow. No matter what, it's like pushing with this tank, like let's say W King, is not gonna work at all. It's just slow gameplay type of tank to deal with. If I was you, I would try my best to use my turret armor only and not expose my whole armor, and as much as possible to stay hold on if my gun depression help in specific positions. Decided to go up a little bit and try to side scrape, even though it is risky in this tank, but it can help too still. This tank can be the most damage possible as much you keep it in action and use that insane DPM on a heavy like this. Let's go with the second vehicle. It's the 113BO. This tank is a regular 113 Tech 3 tank, used to be back then, and this one, the BO, it just different in it is the skin. Otherwise, it's the same vehicle. Most people know this vehicle. However, this tank comes in with a nice 440 Ultra and 7.5 second reload time, and you can drop it down to 7 second or 7.1 if you have your vents on. Nice mobility, decent armor, and it comes in with a nice DPM in general for a heavy. What I like about this tank is the mobility. It goes into like 54, and if you have your turbo on, it's gonna go up all the way to 58 or 57. Sorry, it's gonna be around like 56. Depends on if you put in born turbo or regular turbo. What I like to play this tank is the hardening, D-step, rammer, and you can also do drop your hardening. Hardening for turbo, which is the most popular thing. Film modification, I do use like normal film modification for most heavy tanks, especially mobility tanks. Left side, right, left, and you can also use this, but I don't need it, especially because I'm using bond equipment, and you can use the mobility one. Let's go and have a look on the 113 and see how this tank performs. What I like about this tank is taking initial positions, because the mobility of it is amazing, and pretty much you kind of like almost close to, you know, taking any position on the map before the enemy be there, especially slow heavy tanks. Brawling with the 113 is just like one of the best things to do, especially when you have a nicer load time like this. And the alpha damage also with high rolls can go up to 500, you know, something. The gun depression of the 113 is not the greatest, like you think you can go hold on, but it's specific positions you can make your own gun depression, and also you can just, you know, use the turret as much as possible. The turret has 2 weak spots, which is a cupola, just like, you know, popular weak spots for any vehicle, but the tank is really has nice, you know, brawling situations, especially for a heavy, and the armor on it, like when it comes to side scraping, you can still do it no matter what, because that's the only way to, you know, decrease the chances of, you know, getting penned and get used to use that little armor on any vehicle. It's definitely one of the tanks that you can go aggro with it and, you know, just go as aggressive as you want. It depends on your situation, and also I would say most of the time, like, what helps to go aggressive with this tank is the DPM on it. In this battle we are kinda top tier matchmaking, and when this type of vehicle get into a top tier matchmaking, it could be a very dangerous vehicle to deal with. Chilling. Oh, hello there, boys. Nobody can bother me in this position unless react panzer will come in. The question why he was sitting here the whole time. Is it one shot to pen me and that's it? Fuck. No. I guess he doesn't know what's up. Still, you need to learn. Had a busy fired. We have a DPM to push forward a little bit. My lord. Will this move our way? The aim time on the tank could be a little bit, but it's still okay. For that move. They're gonna. I fucked up, letting the Morse farm me. That's messed up. Push, guys, push. Push, guys, push. You know? But yeah, unfortunate. Let's talk about number 3 vehicle. Is the 121B. 121B is another vehicle I assume you can buy from the store with bonds. It's 15,000 bonds each vehicle, by the way. This tank is one of the, probably I would say, the bestest sniper tanks on the Chinese line, because it has a really nice gun. Comes in with 390 alpha. It comes in with 6.2 reload time, and if you have right equipment, which is bond equipment, it's gonna go down to 5.9. DPM is amazing on this vehicle, and it comes in with 350 heat-on penetration. That's what I like about this. With decent shell velocity is 1,100. When you have a heat round with this high pen with this type of shell velocity is really nice, because anything above 1,000 for a heat round is really great to have. However, I don't have the meta equipment, let's say, for it, but I would put rammer, bond rammer, I will put the V-stab, bond V-stab, and I will put turbo for it. Mobility is not that bad. Still 55 without turbo, but putting turbo on for the current meta will make it much better and smoother when it's smooth. The DPM is like one of my best thing again on this vehicle is 3.7, and it can go up to around like 3.9, 3.8. If some people goes in with regular equipment, vents, V-stab, rammer, full bonded equipment, directive, and with the food you can go probably up to 4k DPM on this vehicle. The armor on this tank is decent, I would say, for a medium tank. Is like a third armor, has 275 penetration. The weakest spots cupolas, just like any vehicle in World Tanks, almost like most of them has these type of weak spots, and the hull is just, you know, I wouldn't even try to expose it. Playing this tank with this type of gun depression is still decent. It's like similar to the, like almost, I wouldn't say similar, but it's close to the T-62A, the Russian medium tank, when it comes to the gameplay of it. But this one has better gun, because of heat run penetration for sure, and DPM it just as decent as it is. Mostly played with this type of little armor on it, you can almost go brawl with this vehicle like heavies, and yeah, I would say you can snipe with this tank. Definitely, it's the Chinese sniper, let's say. Let's have a look on how this tank performed in the battlefield. As you see in this battle, we are going in to play a little bit aggressive due to our being in top tier matchmaking, and this could be very dangerous too, but we're gonna go and take this tank into a brawling and put it in the most dangerous position. You can also, or some people at least, use improved aiming unit on vehicles like that to make the gun more accurate, but for me, like I really do not. I prefer turbo V-step armor to take it because I'm mostly like a brawler, and when I play tank like this, I'll try to go into a brawling as much as possible. I tried, guys. 4.2k in a bad situation. Dude, listen. I will take it, okay? I was in an awkward situation from the beginning of the battle, but I managed to put 4.2 before I died. Number 4 vehicle is the M60. The M60 is pretty much the sniper tank of the American nation. It played similar to the Leopard one, I would say, because it has very nice gun and gun accuracy, gun aim time. I do not have it in the garage, but I will tell you how this tank stats looks like. If you go in and look at this, we have an average. Sorry, we have penetration comes into a 268, and also it has a heat round penetration, which is similar to 121B. It's a 350 heat round pen. However, the 390 alpha damage, just like a 121B, reload time can go down to 6.4 and even lower if you have like I'm not sure if we have plus. Actually, that's the lowest you can go, unless you have something modification and you can go more for more DPM. What I like about this tank is the mobility is really decent for the amount of HP it has. Also, it has 2000 HP, is a little bit more than the 121B. The top speed for this tank is 60 km/h. So, I mean, pretty much that's a lot of speed, right? The armor on it pretty much is really like depends to. If you get lucky, the turret armor is the only way to bounce, and the tracks on this vehicle, it's just the only way. Other than that, the armor is completely doesn't exist. Let's say it has a huge weak spot and it's on the cupola. Probably that's why most people like doesn't like it, and they think like preferring to play M68 pattern. Is the another American medium tank, as people prefer to play it more than M60. I mean, even myself actually. This vehicle is very similar to the M60. It has the difference on this and the other one is the M60 has better DPM and has the heat run pen with 350, but the pattern has a little bit more armor, I would say, and smaller weak spot, which is the cupola. I mean, that's all. And the mobility on the pattern is slower for sure. I mean, the more armor you get, the slower you get. Pretty much that's how it works. Now, since this tank is very similar as just a sniper medium tank, and brawling in it is not like something you would like to do consistently unless you play off your heavy tanks or things like that. Other than that, mainly is a sniper tank due to the armor on it that weak and the the weak spot, which is the huge cupola. I just think it just be played like a Leopard one. The last vehicle, and it's the number 5 vehicle, is the Foch 155. It's a French tank destroyer. Probably I would say can ruin your day or your battle if ever it gets in front of you or just like yellow you pretty much. This vehicle comes in with 750 alpha damage. The reload time of the clip, which is free in the magazine, 3 shells in the magazine, goes to like around like probably like 44 or 45 reload time. which is, that's a long reload time. The aim time of it is really not the best, but again, I don't know if you can even possibly snipe with this vehicle. The armor on it doesn't even help to brawl that much, but it's a tank that you mostly you take one shot and you just drop your free clips, and the intro clip between shells is 5 seconds, so 5 seconds every shell, and after that you have to go for a full reload clip. The speed on it is very decent for a tank like, destroyer. It goes like up to 50 kilometers an hour. But yeah, again, the armor doesn't exist unless you get that lucky. The reason I say that because the weakest spots on top here, the cupola, and the other weak spot right here, which is huge, right? Probably most armor will be like in the front here in the hole, and again with like BRM rounds it still get penned. Would I recommend this tank? I mean, I do not even have it in garage. I do not even play tanks like this personally, because I don't know, it just doesn't fit my playstyle in general. Like the reload time go down to 43 seconds, which is, that's still a long reload time but 750 alpha, that's the thing. 750 alpha can hire up to like probably 800 something. If you max roll, probably, even more. Would I recommend this vehicle? Is up to you, I would say, but personally, I do not like to play tanks like this because the gameplay of it will be a little bit, more into like go in, drop your shells on a heavy line, or just yellow somebody. And when you yellow somebody in this vehicle, you gotta make sure that whatever you're yellowing, it dies to you with free shells. Other than that, you're gonna be on reload time and you might be in bad situation. Now, before the end, what do I recommend you to get between these 5 tanks, and what you should get or not get, and all that? I'm gonna answer all this type of questions. It depends on what you like to play. What are you like more into? Are you into heavy tanks more, or medium tanks more, or tank destroyer like Foch? I would say it's not a meme tank, the Foch 155. It just like it has its own, type of play style, which is, I don't know if you can be passive in it or sniping. Now, my opinion about all these 5 tanks you can buy with bones, which is cost 50,000 bones for each from the store. You got wasted on something that you can perform well in. Does that make sense? Let's say I perform one like very well in 113 or FV for 250B, and I perform, let's say, decent in 121B. I will go, for these 3 tanks. If I'm like, a little bit playstyle doesn't fit me with M60 or Foch 155, I wouldn't even touch them or bother getting them, unless you are a collector person and like to get and collect, tanks in your garage. The reason why I say this is because all these tanks are 50-50. If you comes to it, I do really think it's all 50-50, because each tank has its bad thing and good thing. For example, M60 and 121B has the 350 heat run penetrations. Meanwhile, the Foch 155A has its own thing. If that makes sense? Now, I'm more into a brawler, and I like to brawl, and I think if you would like to try one of these tanks, and the easiest tanks to play, or at least the easiest one to play, I would say the 113BO. It has a little bit of armor, it has DPM, it has the gun alpha damage really decent, it has nice reload time, it has mobility. It just pretty much like a, you can move with it like a medium, but you are actually a heavy tank. The second tank I would say is the FV215B. If you are very like if you get used to the tank and just play more safe, you're gonna do a lot of things in this tank. The FV215B can put a lot of damage into when you're brawling. Now, just remember, the difference between this tank and the 113 is FV might get set on fire multiple times. Meanwhile, 113 you won't be, getting set on fire as much as 215B. Comes to 121B or M60, both of them are similar situation. A Chinese sniper tank that can brawl. M60 is American sniper tank that cannot brawl sometimes as much as the 121B due to the armor on the 121B is more than the M60. But again, both tanks can be played the same style. It's different nations. The last thing is Foch 155A, which is I don't know like if you're gonna perform any well in it, but it's type of tank that you just go and yellow people, drop your shells, or ambush people into like positions. Let's say you go heavy line, you drop 3 shells and back off, and you know, do your own thing after you reload again. Again, what do you like? What you prefer is up to you. I told you what needed to be said about these 5 tanks, and I hope so that's helped you to figure out if you want to like spam your 15,000 bonds on these vehicles or not. Is up to you. I gave you what you needed probably to know from me, and what I have in my garage is the only 3 tanks, 121B, 113, and FD. Why? Because I just told you earlier all the reasons why, you know, this and why not that. I hope so you guys enjoyed this VOD. I'll see you guys next one. Please drop a subscribe if you like to watch more and more details about things like this. Take care and have a good one.